Every single morning, before the world tries to tell you who you are, you need to decide who you're going to be. The world's going to come at you with noise, with doubt, with distractions, with negativity, but you start your day with power. You speak life into your soul. You program your mindset, because you can't live a powerful life with a powerless mind. So I want you to commit to saying these 9 powerful things to yourself every morning, not once, not sometimes, every single day. Because repetition builds reputation, and your reputation starts with how you treat yourself. Too many people wake up and surrender to chaos. Not you. You are not a prisoner of your past or your feelings. You are the commander of your life. Control your thoughts, and you control your day. Control your emotions, and you control your outcomes. Control your actions, and you change your life. I have a purpose, and I'm walking in it today. You are not an accident. You're not here to just survive or exist. You're here to make an impact. So when you wake up, walk with purpose, work with purpose, speak with purpose, live like every breath matters, because it does. 3, I am enough, but I will keep improving. You are valuable right now as you are, but that doesn't mean you get to settle. You honor your potential by growing. You sharpen your skills, develop your mind, and raise your standards, not because you're not enough, but because you are. 4, I can do hard things. Life isn't easy. It's not supposed to be. You'll face resistance, setbacks, even failure. But you remind yourself daily, I was built for this. I'm stronger than I feel. I can handle the pressure. I can climb the mountain. I don't back down, I rise. 5, today I focus only on what I can control. There's power in letting go of what you can't change. Stop worrying about opinions, obstacles, and outcomes that aren't in your hands. Take full responsibility for what is in your control. Your attitude, your effort, your discipline, your energy. 6, I am grateful for this life and all it teaches me. Gratitude is fuel. Even when things are tough, find something to appreciate. The breath in your lungs, the lessons in your struggle, the chance to fight one more round. Gratitude doesn't mean you settle. It means you see the good while you chase the great. 7, I choose discipline over motivation. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a lifestyle. Motivation will get you started, but discipline will keep you going when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one's watching. You don't need to feel like it. You just need to show up and do it. 8, I am becoming who I'm meant to be. Every day, you're shaping your future self. The habits you form, the choices you make, the time you invest, it's all crafting a version of you that's stronger, wiser, and more powerful. So keep going. The future you is counting on the present you. 9, I am worthy of success, love, peace, and abundance. Don't let the world convince you otherwise. You don't have to earn your worth. You don't have to prove you belong. You are worthy because you exist. So stop shrinking to fit in. Walk in your truth. Speak with confidence. Own your space. Because the best version of you isn't hidden. It's waiting to be unleashed. Every day when you wake up, you're given a gift. A clean slate. A new opportunity. But how you use that gift depends on what you do in the very first few minutes. See, most people don't realize it, but the way you start your morning determines how you live your entire day. If you wake up and your mind is scattered, overwhelmed, and distracted, then your day will reflect that. But if you wake up with clarity, with intention, and with power, then the day bends in your favor. That's why starting your day with the right mental state is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Starting your day with intention means you take control before the world gets a chance to take control of you. The moment you open your eyes, your brain is waiting for direction. If you don't give it purpose, it will latch on to whatever noise it finds, emails, news, social media, or old regrets. You have to tell your mind where to go before it gets hijacked. That's why speaking powerful affirmations to yourself first thing in the morning matters. It's not some corny feel-good exercise, it's a strategy. It's the difference between waking up like a boss and waking up like a victim. You're either commanding your life or reacting to it. There's no middle ground. When you start your day with mental intention, you claim ownership. You're saying, this is my life, this is my mind. I decide how I show up today. You begin to replace panic with peace, fear with focus, and stress with strategy. You don't wait for the day to tell you how to feel. You set the tone yourself, and that kind of power builds confidence. It builds consistency. It builds momentum. Think about it. Sure, most people hit snooze 3 or 4 times, then roll out of bed already feeling behind. Their first thoughts are rushed. They're thinking about what they didn't finish yesterday or what could go wrong today. They check their phones and let someone else's posts shape their mood. And they wonder why they're anxious, frustrated, and lost before breakfast. But what if, instead of letting the day attack you, you stood up and declared war on negativity? What if, before touching your phone, you looked in the mirror and reminded yourself who you are and what you're capable of? When you start your morning with intentional words like, "I am in control of my thoughts, emotions, and actions," you build a fortress around your mind. You tell yourself that no matter what comes your way today, you are not helpless. You are not reactive. You are not weak. You're in charge. Your thoughts don't control you. You control them. Your emotions don't run wild. You manage them. Your actions aren't dictated by how you feel in the moment. They're guided by purpose. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's not about denying problems. It's about showing up strong in spite of them. When you wake up with mental intention, you give yourself the strength to respond instead of react. You slow down the chaos. You breathe. You plan. You act. You become proactive instead of just surviving. You live with strategy, not struggle. It might take 5 minutes. That's all. 5 minutes of speaking life over yourself. 5 minutes of centering your spirit. 5 minutes of reminding yourself what really matters. But those 5 minutes can shape the next 15 hours because your brain will replay what you feed it. If you give it power, it will play power. If you give it fear, it will play fear. So why not feed it something that serves you? This practice, this discipline can separate you from the crowd. Most people start the day on autopilot, but you're not most people. You're the one who decided to take responsibility. You're the one who doesn't wait to feel good before doing the work. You're the one who shows up strong, focused, and committed to growth. And that starts the moment you open your eyes. So if you want to change your life, change your mornings. Take back your mind. Speak truth before the world tries to confuse you. Set intention before the stress sets in. Decide who you are and how you'll live before the day even begins. Because that power, that clarity, that intention, it can carry you through anything. You are not here by accident. Every single day that you open your eyes is proof that there's still a reason you're alive. There's still work for you to do. There's still a difference you're meant to make. And you wake up in the morning before the noise of the world creeps in. You need to tell yourself, I have a purpose and I'm walking in it today. Because when you don't live with purpose, you drift. You wander, you exist, but you don't thrive. Life becomes something you survive instead of something you build. Living with purpose doesn't mean you have everything figured out. It doesn't mean you know exactly where you're going or how every piece fits together. It means you've made a decision to live with intention. It means you've accepted that your life matters and that your time here has meaning. You weren't made just to clock in, get by, and die one day. You were created to contribute. And if you don't remind yourself of that daily, you'll forget it in the distractions and chaos of the world. When you wake up and speak purpose over yourself, you bring direction to your day. You walk with a different posture. You speak with a different tone. You work with a different kind of energy because you know you're not just passing time. You're moving in alignment with something bigger, and that's powerful. Because when you live on purpose, you stop chasing approval. You stop comparing yourself to everyone else. You stop needing the world to tell you you're enough. Purpose quiets insecurity. Purpose silences fear. Purpose gives you clarity in the middle of confusion. But don't wait for some big dramatic sign from the sky to tell you what your purpose is. Purpose isn't always loud, it's not always flashy. Sometimes purpose looks like showing up when it's hard. Sometimes it looks like doing the work no one else wants to do. Sometimes it's loving people who can't love you back. Sometimes it's doing the small things with big heart. Purpose is not always about the spotlight, it's about obedience. It's about responsibility. It's about recognizing that your life impacts other people, whether you realize it or not. When you start your day by declaring your purpose, you give yourself permission to focus. You filter your choices through something greater than convenience. You don't just do what feels good, you do what's right. You don't just do what's easy, you do what's necessary. That's what it means to walk in purpose. You understand that your decisions ripple out. You understand that your time is limited. And because of that, every second counts. And that mindset, that level of intention, it separates average people from great people. Too many people wake up and let life happen to them. They let the day pull them in 1,000 directions. They say yes to everything and end up serving nothing. But when you live with purpose, you become strategic. You protect your time. You protect your energy. You stop wasting energy on people and things that don't align with your calling. You learn how to say no. You learn how to stay focused on the vision because you know who you are and you know why you're here. This is why telling yourself, I have a purpose, isn't just motivation, it's survival. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you moving. It keeps you from giving up when things don't go your way. Purpose reminds you that even when life feels random, you are not random. Even when plans fall apart, you are not falling apart. Even when things don't make sense, your life still has meaning. You keep showing up because your presence matters. Your effort matters. Your voice, your heart, your actions, they matter. Don't let the world rob you of your purpose. Don't let distraction, failure, or other people's opinions convince you that you're not needed. You are here on purpose for a purpose. Remind yourself every morning. Speak it out loud. Let it shape how you carry yourself, how you love others, how you work, how you fight, how you grow. Because the people who live with purpose are the ones who change the world. Not because they're perfect, but because they're committed. And you are one of them. So don't just exist. So don't just float through the day. Wake up, lock in, and walk in the purpose that was made for you. Every single day you have to remind yourself that you are enough. Not someday. Not when you get the job. Not when you lose the weight. Not when the world finally notices your effort. Right now, in this moment, just as you are enough. But that doesn't mean you stop growing. It doesn't mean you settle or stop chasing excellence. It means you understand your worth isn't attached to your performance. You don't have to prove your value through perfection. You are worthy, and because of that worth, you owe it to yourself to keep rising. The world will constantly try to convince you that you're not enough, that you have to do more, be more, have more to be accepted. Social media will show you highlight reels that make you question your journey. Comparison will creep in, and you'll start to think, if only I had what they had, maybe I'd be good enough. But that's a trap. That's a lie. You don't need to become someone else to be worthy. You just need to become the best version of yourself, and that journey starts with knowing your value today. Telling yourself, I am enough, but I will keep improving, is powerful because it balances confidence with humility. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You understand that your current self is deserving of love, respect, and opportunity, but you're also not naive enough to think that growth is optional. You know there's always another level. You know your potential hasn't been fully unlocked yet. And that's the beauty of this affirmation. It allows you to love yourself where you are while pushing yourself to where you want to be. When you walk through life constantly feeling like you're not enough, you start to make decisions from fear. You shrink your goals, you play small, you accept less than you deserve. But when you remind yourself of your worth, you start making decisions based on vision. You no longer settle for toxic environments or half-hearted relationships. You no longer tolerate disrespect because you understand what you bring to the table. You no longer seek validation because you've already validated yourself. Still, don't confuse self-love with complacency. Saying you're enough doesn't mean you don't need to grow. It means your growth isn't driven by shame, it's driven by purpose. You're not improving because you think you're broken. You're improving because you respect your potential too much to stay the same. That's what champions do. They celebrate their progress, but they're not satisfied. They see how far they've come, but they also know how much further they can go. They don't stop because the world claps. They keep going because the work isn't finished. When you speak this truth over yourself each morning, you set the tone for how the world treats you. If you show up uncertain of your worth, the world will take advantage. But if you walk in confidence and humility, knowing you're enough and still hungry to grow, people feel that energy, they respect it, they respond to it. Because people are drawn to those who know who they are and where they're going. Life will throw you off track sometimes. You'll make mistakes. You'll face rejection. You'll have moments where you question your worth. That's normal. But don't let those moments define you. That's why this daily affirmation is so important. It's your anchor. It's your reminder that even when the world is loud, you get the final word on your identity. And your word is this: I am enough. I am learning. I am rising. I am committed to my growth. So, every morning before the world gets a say, look yourself in the mirror and say it again, I am enough, but I will keep improving. Say it until you believe it. Say it until it becomes your truth. Say it until the doubts get quiet and the fire in you grows stronger, because you are not defined by what you lack. You are defined by your willingness to rise, to evolve, to push forward with integrity and belief. And that belief starts with one simple truth. You already have what it takes. You are enough. Now go prove it, not to the world, but to yourself. Life isn't easy, and it's not supposed to be. Challenges aren't something to avoid. They're part of the process. If everything came without effort, without resistance, without sacrifice, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't evolve, you wouldn't become strong. That's why every morning you need to remind yourself, I can do hard things, because life is going to test you. It's going to throw storms, setbacks, and struggles your way. And if you haven't trained your mind to face those moments, they'll break you. But when you've built a mindset around resilience, you stop running from the hard stuff. You face it, you fight through it, you rise in it. Saying I can do hard things isn't just a feel-good quote, it's a declaration. It's a mindset shift. It's a reminder that your strength isn't proven in the comfort zones. Your strength is built in the difficult moments, the long nights, the silent battles, the days when you feel like giving up but keep going anyway. That's where growth happens. That's where character is forged. It's in the pressure, in the resistance, in the grind. You don't get stronger by avoiding challenges. You get stronger by conquering them. Think about the times in your life when you grew the most. Were they easy? Were they painless? No. They were probably filled with discomfort, fear, and uncertainty. But you got through them. Maybe you didn't see it at the time, but looking back, those hard moments shaped you. They taught you things comfort never could. And they proved something important. You're more powerful than you give yourself credit for. That's why you've got to stop waiting for life to be easy. Stop hoping the path will be smooth. Stop wishing for less struggle and start wishing for more strength. Because here's the truth. You are capable of far more than you think, but you won't know that until you're pushed, until you're stretched, until you're tested. And when that moment comes and you feel like backing down, that's when you dig deep and tell yourself, I can do this. I was built for this. This mindset changes everything. It changes how you approach your goals. It changes how you deal with failure. It changes how you show up in the world. Instead of running from what's hard, you start leaning into it. You see resistance not as a wall, but as a doorway to the next level. You stop being afraid of failure because you understand it's just part of the climb. And you don't expect overnight results because you know greatness takes time, and time demands patience and perseverance. The truth is, most people quit when it gets hard. That's what separates the average from the elite. Most people give up when the pain starts, when the doubt creeps in, when the reward seems far away. But not you. You're not built to quit. You're not wired for weakness. You're built to endure. You're built to overcome. And every time you repeat those 5 words, I can do hard things, you are reminding yourself of that truth. You're also setting the tone for how you live your day. Instead of reacting to difficulty with fear, you respond with confidence. When the pressure shows up, you don't panic, you perform. When the situation looks impossible, you rise with focus, because you've trained yourself to expect resistance, and not just expect it, but conquer it. And look, some days will feel heavier than others. Some battles will be tougher. But that's why this affirmation isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily declaration. You have to say it even when you don't feel it. Especially when you don't feel it. Because that's when it does the most work. That's when it gets planted deep in your mindset. That's when it becomes your identity. So don't underestimate the power of these words. Don't overlook what happens when you speak life over yourself before the struggle begins. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not a victim. You are powerful. You are resilient. You are a fighter. And yes, you can do hard things. Every morning, remind yourself of that truth. And then go prove it, not with words, but with action. Not with noise, but with consistency. Because every challenge you face is not the end, it's a new beginning. It's an invitation to rise. Every single day, you are presented with 2 choices. You can waste your energy on things you can't control, or you can focus it on what you can. And that decision, that simple mindset shift, determines whether you move forward in power or stay stuck in frustration. Life is going to throw curveballs. People are going to disappoint you. Plans are going to change. But no matter what happens outside of you, you always have control over one thing: how you respond. That's why every morning you need to tell yourself, today I focus only on what I can control. because that focus will keep you grounded when the world tries to pull you in 100 different directions. Most people spend the majority of their energy worrying about things they can't do anything about. They stress over other people's opinions. They get consumed by the news. They get caught up in what someone else is doing, how fast they're moving, or how lucky they seem. But all of that is wasted effort. You can't control the economy. You can't control the weather. You can't control what other people say, think, or feel. But you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your preparation, your reactions, and your perspective. And that's where your power lives. When you start your day with this mindset, you strip away the distractions. You silence the noise. You stop handing your peace over to things that don't deserve it. You stop trying to manage other people's emotions or micromanage outcomes. Instead, you lock in on what's in your hands, and when you do that, you become unstoppable, because all your energy is directed into things that actually produce results. Your actions, your thoughts, your routines, your mindset. It's not that you stop caring, it's that you stop wasting. You stop wasting time arguing with people who don't want to understand you. You stop wasting energy comparing your path to someone else's. You stop wasting effort trying to fix what isn't your responsibility. You take that same energy and reinvest it into becoming the strongest, sharpest, most focused version of yourself. And that's when life begins to shift. Because now you're building, now you're growing, now you're making decisions from a place of clarity, not chaos. This mindset also helps you stay emotionally stable. Because when you focus on what you can control, you stop being reactive. You stop letting the mood of the day or the behavior of others dictate how you feel. You develop emotional discipline. You become grounded. You become the kind of person who doesn't flinch under pressure, who doesn't crumble when things don't go their way. Because your peace isn't built on circumstances, it's built on choices. And you're choosing every day to protect your mind and focus on what's in your lane. Let's be real, things will go wrong. People will let you down. Life won't always make sense. But if you spend your days trying to fix everything outside of yourself, you'll burn out. That's why this truth is so important. You're not in charge of everything, and that's okay. You don't need to control the world, you just need to master your world. And your world begins inside you. This is a habit. You won't master it in a day. It takes practice. It takes reminding yourself again and again to pull your focus back in. Your mind will wander. You'll get tempted to obsess over things that are out of reach. But the moment you catch yourself, bring it back. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If it is, take action. If it's not, let it go. That's not weakness, that's wisdom, that's strength, that's leadership. So when you wake up tomorrow, before the stress begins, before the distractions show up, speak this into your soul. Today, I focus only on what I can control. Say it with conviction. Say it like your peace depends on it, because it does. And then live it. Don't just say it. Walk it out. Show the world what it looks like to be grounded, focused, and intentional. Because the world doesn't need more people trying to control everything. The world needs more people who know how to control themselves. Be that person. Be that force. Be that example. And watch your life transform. It's easy to take life for granted, to wake up and go straight into the grind, the stress, the chaos of the day without even thinking about how blessed you are just to be breathing. But if you want to change your energy, your focus, and your attitude, you've got to stop and remind yourself, I am grateful for this life and all it teaches me. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a mindset. It's a discipline. It's something you choose to carry with you even when life isn't perfect, even when things aren't going your way, even when you're tired, frustrated, or facing adversity. Because gratitude has the power to transform your entire life, starting with your perspective. When you practice gratitude intentionally, especially first thing in the morning, you shift your mind away from what's missing and focus it on what's present. You stop obsessing over what you don't have and you start appreciating what you do. And that shift alone can open doors you didn't even know existed, because a grateful heart is not a weak heart. It's a focused one. It's not about pretending everything is fine. It's about finding strength even in the struggle. It's about choosing to see the lesson, the opportunity, and the growth in every situation. You might not be where you want to be right now. You might still be climbing, still fighting, still working through pain or pressure, but there is still something to be grateful for. You've got breath in your lungs. You've got another day to make a difference. You've got people who love you, challenges that are shaping you, and a future you're still building. And when you focus on what you do have, you operate from a place of abundance, not lack. Gratitude helps you fight off bitterness. It helps you resist the urge to compare. It silences entitlement and keeps your ego in check. Because you understand that nothing in this life is promised, not your time, not your opportunities, not even your relationships. So when you learn to say thank you for the little things, the lessons, the failures, the closed doors, you develop a different level of maturity. You begin to see that even the hard things are gifts. Even the delays, even the losses, even the disappointments, they're all part of your development. There's a reason the most successful people in the world practice gratitude, because it fuels resilience. It reminds them of how far they've come. It grounds them when the pressure gets heavy. It keeps them humble when the success gets loud, and it gives them the strength to keep moving forward with clarity and grace. Gratitude is a secret weapon. It keeps your heart soft, your mind sharp, and your spirit strong. But you can't just think about gratitude occasionally. You've got to make it a lifestyle. You've got to wake up and speak it. Say it out loud, write it down, reflect on it, build your mornings on it. Because when you start your day with appreciation, everything else changes. Your conversations change, your energy shifts, your relationships improve, your work becomes more meaningful. Even your challenges become less intimidating because you're rooted in the truth that there's still something good happening around you and within you. Gratitude also teaches you patience. It reminds you that not everything will happen overnight, and that's okay. It teaches you to celebrate the journey, not just the destination, to value the process, not just the prize. When you're grateful, you don't just chase results, you respect the steps. You grow in faith, you trust the timing, you learn to embrace every part of the path, even the slow seasons, even the moments of silence, because you know that everything you go through has purpose, and every season, good or bad, is teaching you something you'll need for what's next. So when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel like nothing is going right, when you're tempted to give up, stop and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? What has life already given me that I've been too distracted to notice? What lesson is hidden in this moment that could help me grow? The answers to those questions will realign your mindset. They'll bring you peace. They'll help you keep moving forward. Gratitude is not just a good habit, it's a powerful decision. It's choosing to see life not just through your wants, but through your blessings. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, don't rush into the day. Pause, breathe, and say to yourself, I am grateful for this life and all it teaches me. Because that attitude, that awareness, that's the key to a better day, a better mindset, and ultimately a better life. There's something powerful about knowing your worth. There's something unshakable about walking into each day grounded in the truth that you are worthy, not someday, not after you accomplish something big, not after you fix all your flaws, but right now. That's why every morning, before the world tries to define you, before you let self-doubt creep in, you need to tell yourself, I am worthy of success, love, peace, and abundance. Because your life will rise or fall to the level of your belief, and if you don't believe you're worthy, you'll keep pushing away the very things you say you want. When you don't feel worthy, you self-sabotage, you undercharge your value, you accept poor treatment, you play small, you hesitate to take risks, and you walk through life with your head down. But when you know your worth, you start to move differently. You stop waiting for permission to live fully. You stop begging for love, for opportunities, for approval. You stop trying to prove you deserve to exist, and instead, you take up space with confidence. You stop asking, do I belong here? And start telling yourself, I was made for this. Worthiness isn't something you earn through achievement, it's something you embrace through awareness. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures, your flaws, or your fears. You are more than what you've been through. You're more than what people have said about you. You are worthy simply because you are. And if you don't wake up each day and remind yourself of that, the world will try to convince you otherwise. There are systems, voices, and experiences that will try to make you feel small, that will tell you you're not smart enough, not attractive enough, not talented enough. And if you believe them, you'll build your life around those lies. You'll shrink, you'll settle, you'll disconnect from your true identity. But when you start each morning reminding yourself that you are worthy of good things, of joy, of healing, of wealth, of purpose, you create a new standard for how you treat yourself and how you allow others to treat you. This isn't about arrogance, this isn't about entitlement, this is about claiming your rightful place in your own life. It's about refusing to live like a stranger in your own story. It's about recognizing that you were created for more than just getting by. You were created to live with meaning, with fulfillment, with richness, not just material, but emotional, spiritual, and relational. When you say, I am worthy of success, you're not just talking about money or status. You're talking about waking up every day with direction, knowing that your work matters and your dreams are valid. When you say, I am worthy of love, you're reminding yourself that you don't have to chase people or pretend to be someone else to be accepted. When you say, I am worthy of peace, you're giving yourself permission to walk away from chaos, to protect your energy, and to stop carrying weight that was never yours to hold. And when you say, I am worthy of abundance, you're aligning yourself with the truth that there is more than enough in this world, not just for others, but for you too. You don't have to live in scarcity. You don't have to keep expecting struggle. Yes, life will be hard. Yes, there will be setbacks. But you don't have to keep rejecting the good that comes your way. You don't have to question it. You don't have to sabotage it. You can receive it. You can grow into it. You can allow yourself to rise. This is why your morning mindset matters. Because if you start your day feeling undeserving, you will unconsciously push away every blessing that tries to reach you. But if you start your day grounded in truth, if you wake up and say to yourself, I am worthy, you begin to attract the things that are already meant for you. You begin to walk in alignment with your purpose. You begin to show up with the energy, confidence, and clarity that leads to transformation. So tomorrow, and every morning after that, look yourself in the mirror, speak to your soul, say it until you feel it. Say it until your actions match your words. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of peace. I am worthy of abundance. And then live like you believe it. Because when you know your worth, everything in your life starts to change. Not just what you receive, but what you expect, what you pursue, and most importantly, what you become.